Oligopoly concept by quantum simulations. Halfway between pure and perfect competition and monopoly, the oligopolistic market structure represents the most realistic market structure. Firms have no interest in being numerous in a market. In many cases, even if there are only two, this can lead to a price war. They must try to capture market share and make demand inelastic. Moreover, the set of strategies to try to move away from the hypotheses of pure and perfect competition and towards those of monopoly refers to the concept of imperfect competition. The most common imperfect structure is when the number of suppliers is limited, the uncooperative oligopoly. The difference between the cooperative and the non-cooperative oligopoly is that in the first case, the oligopoly is the result of a strategic decision to form a more or less powerful cartel. In the second case, firms in an oligopolistic situation make their production decisions without consulting each other, respecting competition, but acting in reaction to the decisions of others. An oligopoly is a market structure made up of a limited number of firms. Enormous entry costs can explain this limited number of firms. We will then speak of barriers to entry. These allow oligopolists to enjoy significant profits in the long term, preventing other producers from entering the market. The best-known examples of oligopolistic industries are the automobile industry, the production of steel, aluminum and chemicals, and electronic equipment groups, computers, for example. Firms can compete against each other by following two strategies: either they compete on quantity and concretely seek to increase their market share, or they compete on price. Consider the case of an oligopoly consisting of two firms, the duopoly. The Carnot duopoly studies quantity competition between firms of equal weight. The objective of each company is to maximize its profit according to the quantity it chooses to put on the market. The two firms choose their quantities sold in a non-cooperative way. Stackelberg's model assumes that one firm plays an active role in the market, the leader, and the other firm plays a passive role, the follower. The leader chooses its level of production first. He sets a profit-maximizing quantity by considering the quantity he expects the follower to set in response to his own choice. He assumes that the follower will also want to maximize his profit, but will accept the leader's production choice as a given. This assumption allows the leader to predict the production choice of the follower and to take that choice into account when determining his production level. The usual perception is that firms compete through the prices they charge for their goods. Bertrand's model: the strategic variable is price, firms' behavior is symmetrical, and they have sufficient production capacity to cover the entire market. It is, therefore, appropriate to examine situations where both firms sell a similar product, for example, Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola for soft drinks, or Avis and Hertz for car rentals. The most critical assumption of Bertrand's model is that if two firms sell an identical product, consumers will buy it from the firm that charges the lowest price. Therefore, the firms set the prices and leave it to the market to determine the quantities. Firms are assumed to have the same cost structures. At Bertrand's equilibrium, prices in such markets are discounted to marginal cost at a level well below the two stated models. Bertrand's equilibrium is a Nash equilibrium. Edgeworth resolved Bertrand's paradox by introducing the assumption that firms cannot sell more than they can produce. Capacity constraints offer a solution to price competition in which prices do not fall to the level of marginal cost. The difficulty, however, is that there is no stable equilibrium because neither firm has enough capacity to produce the quantity that would be demanded at a price equal to marginal cost. Uncooperative oligopolies correspond to the most common market structures, pure and perfect competition being an abstraction of economists and monopoly having very restrictive conditions of existence.